If you have seen Slumdog Millionaire, you think you know Dharavi. You do not. The film was shot here, yes, but the Dharavi that exists on screen, chaotic, desperate, helpless, is a fraction of a far more complicated truth. The real Dharavi is a billion-dollar economy. It is the recycling engine that keeps Mumbai from drowning in its own waste. It is leather goods sold to luxury brands in Europe and the United States. And right now, it is at the center of one of the most ambitious and contested urban transformation projects in the world. Here is what is actually happening. The numbers. First, the scale. Dharavi covers roughly 2 square kilometers in the heart of Mumbai. Into that space, somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million people have built homes, workshops, schools, temples, mosques, bakeries, and factories. The population density is among the highest of any place on Earth, 10 times denser than New York City. Over 10,000 businesses operate here, 15,000 single-room factories, annual economic output estimated at over $1 billion. That is not a charity figure. That is turnover from leather, from recycling, from pottery, textiles, food production, metalwork, and dozens of other trades, many of which have been running in the same families for 2 and 3 generations. The circular economy. The recycling industry is the part that deserves the most attention and gets the least. Mumbai generates around 9,000 tons of waste every day. Roughly 80% of the city's dry waste, plastic, metal, glass, cardboard, electronic components, is processed here in Dharavi by approximately 250,000 workers. The plastic becomes pellets sold to factories across India and beyond. The metals are extracted and reused. Used paint cans are cleaned, repainted, and sold back to hardware stores. This cycle repeats 4 times before the metal is finally melted down. Nothing is wasted. The leather scraps from the tanneries fuel the kilns in the pottery workshops. The pottery workshops use discarded wood from across the city for heat. Every industry feeds the next. It is a circular economy built from necessity, and it works better than most formal systems designed by planners with much larger budgets. The leather industry. The leather industry alone is worth tens of millions of dollars annually and supplies goods to international brands, including high-street fashion labels and luxury houses in Europe. The craftsmen here produce bags, jackets, and accessories to a standard that reaches global markets. They do it in workshops that would be unrecognizable to the buyers of the finished products. The leather industry owners in Dharavi are, in the words of people who study the community, humble millionaires, living modestly inside the same neighborhood where their wealth was built. That wealth does not leave. New destination and documentary content every week. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Community and culture. Dharavi is also one of the most culturally diverse communities in India. Migrants arrived here from Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Bengal, and dozens of other regions. Hindu and Muslim communities live side by side. Tamil and Marathi and Urdu and Hindi are all spoken within a few lanes of each other. There are 60 primary schools and 13 secondary schools. There are community organizations, youth groups, and art programs. The Dharavi Art Room has trained hundreds of young people from the community in visual art, giving them language for their own story beyond what outsiders have told about them. The people who live here have built something that is genuinely theirs. That matters. The real challenges. None of this is to pretend the challenges are not real. 1 toilet for every 1,400 people. Homes of 10 by 10 feet, housing families of 6. Monsoon flooding that turns lanes into sewage channels every year. tuberculosis, rates that reflect the density and inadequate ventilation. 80% of residents without reliable access to clean drinking water. These are not statistics to contextualize away. They are the daily reality of 1 million people. Acknowledging the economic achievements of Dharavi does not require minimizing what its residents live with. Both things are true at the same time. And now, a transformation is underway that will change everything, though exactly what it will change into is still being contested. In 2022, the Adani Group won the bid for a $3 billion redevelopment project to rebuild Dharavi entirely. Construction began on the first parcel of railway land in January 2025. The plan: new apartments of 350 square feet with independent kitchens and toilets, schools, hospitals, and green spaces for 1 million residents. The support among residents is real. So is the fear. Thousands of workers, the recyclers, the potters, the leather workers, do not yet have written guarantees about what happens to their livelihoods when their workshops are demolished. Some residents have boycotted the eligibility surveys, uncertain whether they will qualify for housing at all. Community organizations have raised questions about transparency. The architect leading the project has said publicly, "I want people to say, 'I wish I lived in Dharavi.'" Whether that vision reaches the people who built it, or whether it arrives at their expense, is the question that will define the next decade in this community. Dharavi is not a symbol of failure. It is a symbol of what people build when the formal systems of a city exclude them, and then refuse to leave when those systems finally take notice. The billion-dollar economy was not given to Dharavi. It was built here, by hand, over generations, in 2 square kilometers of land that nobody else wanted. That is the truth that most coverage of this place never gets around to telling. What do you think about what is happening in Dharavi? Drop it in the comments. This is one of those conversations worth having.